Nothing is ever so sadder than being misunderstood, when all along it was your efforts to be perceived in good faith that was shrouded in a bad light. With today's novel that I will be reviewing, it is certainly the case. One of the first classic novels I've read when I got into reading was Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and it would be an understatement to say that I have never been the same since. No Longer Human is one of those few novels that I have noticed in which a certain character or a certain story is very difficult to fabricate. In my case, it was a feeling of mourning or pity for essentially a mallow type character, or rather, an embodiment of one's worst tendencies. And I won't lie that when reading through the story, I found it deeply disturbing, not only because of the protagonist's inner psyche, but also because of the narrative itself that paints a sorry picture. The life of the author himself, Shuji Tsushima, known by his pen name Osamu Dazai, is one that is marred in tragedy. Retrospectively, after reading the novel, it definitely hits a lot harder knowing the story behind it. Wendigoon has made an excellent video delving a lot deeper into this story and its numerous adaptations. Definitely check his video after watching this one. Forgive me if this video was rather short. That is because I truly do not wish to entail the entire story for a detailed analysis, and for good reason. It is because this novel contains less than savory elements that may disturb the audience. If you're planning on reading this, please read it within the proper headspace. And that is exactly what I did not do. It has been 3 whole days since I finished this, and to say the least, I still feel wretched as ever. No Longer Human explores what it's like to feel completely detached and alienated from society. Yozo, the novel's protagonist, felt he was at odds with the people around him. He found humanity frightening and impossible to comprehend. Nothing about human behavior or society felt intuitive to him, and his only way of getting through life is by mimicking social conducts he thinks people view as acceptable. His clowning, as he calls it, was mainly out of fear rather than to deceive. This performance is what assured him that perhaps he would feel safe if no one would know what's truly going on within himself. Although the novel primarily focuses on social isolation, it also considers the kinds of connections that lonely people cling to. Yozo was so estranged from everyone around him that he legitimately fears human beings. And yet, he still experiences moments of peace through these connections he made from mutual suffering. And this search for belongingness can often take to the extreme. This heaviness he carries attracts bad people and often terrible influence, which latches onto them both, trapping him into this vicious cycle. No Longer Human examines societal perceptions surrounding depression and the stigma that is often attached to mental health issues. Almost everyone in Yozo's life fails to show genuine sympathy, with people like Horiki seemingly encouraging terrible coping mechanisms for his apparent inability to live like everyone else. This and the fact that Yozo had no one else to turn to because of how he dealt with his life. His family saw his acts as a nuisance or a stain of shame that is not meant to exist, rather than a cry for help. In many ways, No Longer Human is written proof that our tendency to naturally gravitate towards self expression is inherent within human beings. Even though Yozo goes to great lengths in his everyday life to conceal his inner thoughts and feelings, he's still drawn to certain modes of self expression that allows him to represent his true nature. His desire to be a painter is him wishing to channel his real self, albeit discreetly. After all, only a small fraction of people saw beyond his act, and he considers this a great danger. And art, to him, was the only medium in which he could convey this without appearing strange or frightening himself. I frequently talk about how literature holds a mirror to society and, in a micro scale, to the individual, but I often fail to emphasize upon it more clearly. Yozo's struggle to appear human in front of others is more rooted in empathy, which people seem to forget, including me. He is despicable in so many ways. One could even argue that he hates himself more than people despise him, but he is far from inhuman. Essentially, one of the many human struggles to begin with is from this simple notion, that of what qualifies a human being. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on your next read.